Yizzo, you already know what time it is, man. It's your boy, Grown Man Business TV. You feel what I'm saying? Now, listen, man, you can tap in or you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest, and I suggest you tap in. So let's get right into it. Now, you already know time, energy, the highest forms of currency, my G. I know they got your head chasing the bag, chasing that money, chasing that moolah, stacking that paper, that cheese, and that mozzarella, but always keep it in the front of your mental Rolodex. That time and energy are the highest forms of currency, my G's, at all times is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. Big salute to all my day one investors, everybody that's highly invested in the channel, everybody that understands that we are growing this channel organically, constant elevation. We are on our way to the top, well over 40,000 subscribers, on our way to 50K is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. Even bigger salute to all my newcomers, all my new investors, everybody that's making their way to the realest channel on YouTube, Grown Man Business TV. Listen, man, carved out a lane for the real, and I'm the only one in this lane. And if you merge into this lane, we're going to crash out. Is what it is. It'll be what it's going to be. Now, do me a favor, man. Wipe your feet off before you walk into the big house. Understand that when you walk into the big house, wipe off your feet, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure your notification bells are ringing every time we go live right here on Grown Man Business TV. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. Now, we're going to talk about this Carmelo Anthony situation. You know, it get deep, it get wicked, and it's always deep in the rap. And this situation right here is something that we're going to continue to keep an eye on, and we're going to speak on. And one thing for sure, two things for certain, the higher ups are paying attention to the channel. I've already received 2 emails already from YouTube about the last live stream. I'm not sure if it's Gilly or if it's Wallow just yet. I'm not sure who exactly, if it's the $1 Million with the Game podcast that might have got a earful of that whole Wallow situation. But it's looking like I'm going to have to take that video down. It's still up for right now. So, you know, get an earful, get an eyeful while you can. And we'll see if it gets to stay up. The whole situation with the Carmelo Anthony, you know, we're going to talk about it. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. And, you know, the perspective is the perspective that you get here at Grown Man Business TV is like no other. You know, it's pure dope, straight off the brick into the bottles. So, you know, before we even get any deeper, before we even talk about this any further, you know, let me customize the chat. You know, I got to do some customizations. Yeah. A FBA Cushboy 420. Yeah, they on my. They are not playing about that Wallow the Clown video. They are not playing about that Wallow the Clown video. Like I said, 2 emails already. I'm gonna screenshot the email and I might post it to my community. But yeah, they not playing about that, and I'm not sure just yet because they didn't strike the channel. When you get a strike, when they strike your channel, like when Matt Hoffa strike the channel, you get to see who striked your channel. So it's not a strike because I can't see exactly what's going on, but I know somebody from somewhere got an earful of that video, and it ain't been up 4 hours yet, and it's already looking like it's gonna have to come down. We'll see though. No worries. One thing for sure, 2 things for certain. The reason why I don't feel no way about it is because I told you all that the voice is powerful. And yeah, you see that right there. You know what I'm saying? Before you get into the chat with your Twitter fingers, using your Twitter fingers and all that, doing all your commenting with your Twitter fingers and all that, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. If not, that's cool. Get in the back of the class, close your mouth and open your ears. Get a dose of that pure dope straight off the brick into the bottles. All right? So, yeah, you know, the reason why it didn't really upset me is because it just let me know, even with some days off, even with some time off of YouTube, as soon as I touch the mic, as soon as I touch the live button, the higher ups and the elites are listening, homie. Your favorite rappers, you know, your favorite celebrities, your favorite puppets are tuned in to Grown Man Business TV. Or if they not watching themselves, somebody's reaching out. Yo, you heard that? Yo, homies. Yeah, it is what it is. It'll be what it's gonna be. You know what I mean? You know, $1 million worth of cock and you know, all that, kissing the bottle and all that. I'm sure they heard that. So we'll see, man. But on a more important note, right? You know, we had a lot of fun earlier, and right now we're gonna keep this right on track. You know, if you are in tune with the channel, you have heard me say something about redirecting the energy. You have heard me speak on redirecting the energy. redirecting the energy of the urban community, redirecting the energy of rap culture, redirecting the energy of these YNs running around the street doing damage to the community. You know, I always speak about what happens when we wake up in the morning and we redirect that energy that we inflict on each other. We redirect that energy of violence, of destruction, and we redirect it from our community to your community. You understand what I'm saying? And you know, it's a dangerous situation. You know, I speak on it. You know, I speak life into it. You know, I'm very charismatic. I have a huge personality, right? But when I sit back and I listen to the downloads when they download it, and I really dissect, even just speaking about redirected energy, you know, it give me the chills because I understand personally just how dangerous that is. How dangerous that is. See, it's okay when two young black men are beefing or arguing or are deleting themselves. It's okay when it's a rap beef and it's East Coast West Coast and Biggie Smalls and Tupac lose their life. See, it's all good when these particular people get to go to the zoo and watch the animals behind the cage. But what happens when the cage door is open? What happens when the glass is broken? And now it's an interaction between the so-called zoo animals and the spectators. What happens when young black men start defending themselves? What happens when black men as a whole start looking at who's really attacking them, start figuring out who's the real opposition, and they go full on beast mode? What really happened? It get dangerous. In the situation with Carmelo Anthony, the situation with the young man that lost his life out there in Frisco, Texas, I think it was, is a dangerous situation because this is going to be the callous. You understand what I'm saying? Carmelo Anthony going to court, and I'm telling you here, I'm telling you now, most likely will walk away with manslaughter. He's most likely going to walk away with manslaughter. And then the young man that lost his life, this is going to be the foundation. This is going to be the callus where young black men start figuring out the beginning stages like, oh, it's okay to, oh, see, we were scared of that. We didn't know we was allowed to do that. We didn't know that we didn't even know that was an option. You know, protecting ourselves against white people, protecting ourselves against Asian people, you know, protecting ourselves against everybody else that's gunning for us. See, we thought we were just supposed to delete each other. We thought we was just supposed to go to war in the hood. We were supposed to go to war in the ghetto. We didn't know that the white boy bully at school, we could delete him. We didn't know that was a, see, this is going to be the foundation of that. And that's why I say it's dangerous. So, you already know here at Grown Man Business TV, we keep the receipts. I'm gonna put this out there, and I'm gonna see the reaction. And maybe I'll leave the live up, maybe I'll take it down, and we'll revisit this. But with this particular live, I want to be very blunt. I want to keep it pure dope, like I always do. Like I always do. You understand? This is the foundation. This is the redirected energy I've been talking about way before this happened. I've been talking about this way before this situation took place. What happens when a young black man realizes who the real opposition is? Who is the real op? Now, I know it's scary for a lot of these people. I know it's scary. I know they never thought a day would come where black men might come out of the spell of rap music. They might shake the spell of drill music. They might wake up from the dream of black on black crime, and then they might start looking at you. They might start looking at your children. They might start looking at your dad and your mother. They might start to prey on you. But I'm here to tell you right here at Grown Man Business TV, the time is closer than you think. Now, I'm going to approach it from this aspect, and then towards the end of this live stream, I'm going to give you the even bigger picture. because the higher ups and the elites are always involved. Higher ups and the elites actually want a race war to start. They've been begging. They've been begging for a race war to take place. They've been begging for it. They've been really pushing for a long time a race war. We're going to talk about the big picture at the end of this. But right now, I want to stay right on point. Big salute to the chat. Run the likes up. Do what you got to do. Hit the like button and all that. First and foremost, I want to play a receipt of somebody who was actually at the venue. Somebody, a witness that was actually there, that saw this take place. Because I want to let him paint the picture so that you can understand why I say this young man is only going to walk away with manslaughter. This young man, Carmelo Anthony, is only going to walk away with manslaughter because he was only defending himself. He was only defending himself. And a lot of people, GMB, do you think that he took too much action? He went too far? No, I got a son. Now, would I want my son to go through this process? I don't think so. But would I be upset with my son for taking it to those measures? No. No, man. Death before dishonor. Death before dishonor. And I ain't telling you to just go out there and be a criminal and take somebody's life. But if your back is against the wall, and that's the only thing then it is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. Keep your hands to yourself. And again, we keep the receipts. So I got something I'm gonna show y'all to show y'all exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly what I mean. But what I want to do is let this man talk, and then we're gonna double back. Big salute to the chat.
They got rained out like crazy bad. Everybody trying to get back to their cars or get in, places where they, wouldn't get all extra wet. Dude was sitting up on the tent, right? He was on his phone, right? My daughter was up under the same goddamn tent. Yeah. So I'm paying attention to my kids, but at the same time, they're in the same vicinity, so I'm watching everything going on around it because I'm there for my children. So, dude walks up, McKellen, bro, he wasn't even under the tent at the time. They came from a whole separate tent and walked over there. They intentionally went over there to this kid, man. Dude was sitting there on his phone just trying to get dry. You feel me? One thing went from another. They grabbed this man and they tried to punch on dude. Dude went in his bag and they went to try to jump this dude and punch on this dude, man. And he protected himself, dude. That's what happened. Yeah. It wasn't just one. It was both of them, bro. Austin, that dude that's got unalive, and his brother physically went over there to intentionally. It's not to the point that he brought a knife. For one, it wasn't on school property. The school is at least 5 to 10 miles away. It was community track meet, bro. I thought that
Now, homie said a lot, right? And I want to dissect that. First, he said that the two white boys wasn't even under the same tent with Carmelo Anthony. They made their way to the tent. So you got the media, you got the news saying that they was under the tent and Carmelo was under the tent, and that was a lie. They wasn't even over there when Carmelo was over there. They made their way to Carmelo. They made their way to the tent. And Carmelo had all right to be under the tent because it was raining. So most people was just under the tent trying to get out the rain. This young man that's talking wasn't even a part of the school. He said his daughters went to the school or something like that, and he was under the tent. So nobody can tell nobody where to stand and where to be and what tent they should be under and what tent they shouldn't be under. All right? Now, this witness right here said that they came to the tent and they went directly to Carmelo Anthony. And they tried to punch on him. They tried to physically assault him. Both of the brothers, not just one. It was two. So now you have a gang situation where you have two people assaulting one person. All right. Now, another point that this young man made, this witness, is that the track field was not on school property. The school is over 5 miles away. The track that they were running on is on a public facility, a recreational center, public track field that any and everybody can use. So there goes another lie. He didn't have a knife on school property. They were nowhere near school property, right? And as a young man in places like Florida, Texas, S, Y, and Z, you can have a small pocket knife. That is legal. So name it, he had a big knife in his bag. No, he had a small pocket knife for whatever he had it for. That day it was for protection. Now, if those two white boys would have never put their hands on him, if those two white boys would have minded their business, we wouldn't even be talking about this. So the rule and the whole moral to the story is mind your business and keep your hands to yourself. If you keep your hands to yourself and you mind your business, the last thing you got to worry about is this type of situation happening. All right? Now, why am I playing that? I'm playing that because this guy is obviously going to end up in court. This witness right here, he's going to end up in court. The prosecutor, the defense, the people are going to want to know, who is this guy? He was under the fence. He was under the tent. He saw the crime take place. I guarantee you this man takes the stand on behalf of Carmelo Anthony. You understand what I'm saying? So now you got somebody saying, I saw both brothers approach Carmelo. I saw two white boys attack Carmelo, take his property, rob Carmelo. The man is going to walk away with manslaughter. He's going to walk away with manslaughter. It's going to be a beautiful thing. Because, again, God bless the dude who lost his life. But y'all need to take the lesson in the madness. It's always a message and a lesson in the madness. And y'all need to learn that y'all don't have authority over black people. Y'all don't get to tell us where to stand. Y'all don't get to tell us where to sit. Y'all don't get to ask us questions. Y'all don't get to approach us without using caution. See, another black man would have already knew, something could happen if I approach that black man, put my hands on that black man, I might lose my life. But see, I believe that we are entering a stage in an era, in a day and age where white people, Asian people, y'all are going to learn to leave us the hell alone. Y'all going to learn to respect us the same way we respect y'all. Even if it's the death of you. Even if it's the death of you, you are going to learn to respect us the same way we respect y'all. And you're going to learn to keep your hands to yourself the same way we was raised to keep our hands to ourselves. Even if it's the death of you. So I wanted to play that right there just to let you know that there are witnesses. I'm not talking about people that heard this. I'm not talking about word of mouth. I'm not talking about somebody saw this and somebody said that. I'm talking actual physical witnesses that saw two white boys attack Carmelo Anthony. Now, I've already talked about redirected energy. But I kind of want to elaborate on that a little bit more. I want to elaborate on how dangerous this is going to become when it snowball effects. Not dangerous for us, but dangerous for you. You understand? Because everybody always talks about how black people are not united, how black people are divided, how black people don't look out for each other. And I'm telling you, the last thing y'all really want is for black people to start rallying behind each other, for black people to actually unify. Because you got to understand something. On American soil, we have been brutalized. Black men, black people. I'm gonna say black people. I don't even want to say black women. Sandra Bland, that one black lady that got her face shot off about a year ago out there in Ohio, Chicago, when the police ran into her house. See, we have been brutalized on American soil. We have been raped, deleted, murdered on American soil. So as soon as we rally, as soon as we unify, we're gonna bring war. It's gonna be payback. It's no longer gonna be you bullying. It's no longer gonna be you thinking you have authority. It's gonna be at the death of you. So you always got to know to be careful what you ask for. People always ask for black people to unify. People always, I'm talking, Dominican, Latino, Asian, Caucasian, Haitian, Jamaican. Everybody talks about black people being unified, coming together. And as soon as we come together, soon as we unify, all of a sudden it's a weird thing. It's dangerous. That's why the higher ups and the elites work so hard to divide and conquer black people. That's why the higher ups and the elites work so hard to divide and conquer. You don't see them divide and conquer Haitian people. You don't see them divide and conquer Latin. You don't see them divide and conquer no other culture, no other race of people but us. Because as soon as we unify, you get the Black Panthers. As soon as we unify, you get a dangerous group of black men. Dangerous. Now, that's going to segue me into the young boy, NBA young boy, and his part in this. Now, what you got to understand is, I just got done talking about, Wallow the clown. I got done, I'm always talking about industry puppets. I'm always speaking on industry puppets because it is what it is and it'll be what it's going to be. But when it comes to revolutionaries, when it comes to a possible revolutionary, I'm going to speak on that as well. I'm going to give good game on that as well. I'm going to praise that. And matter of fact, let me just let the receipt, you already know we keep the receipts. I'm going to let the receipt play, and then we're going to double back. But NBA Youngboy is a young man that everybody looked at and we understood was an industry plant. He was being used to misguide the youth. He was being used to cause destruction and confusion amongst the YNs, amongst the youngins. But you got to understand something. Even the youngins grow up. What happens when a young rebel grows up? And all that money you gave him, he starts to use it to rebel against the industry. That's why I talk about Wallow and other celebrity puppets. Because y'all get that $100 million. Y'all get that $100 million. And y'all been breaking fold for the higher ups and the elites. Y'all get that $100 million and y'all don't cause no revolution. I'm going to play this receipt. Big salute to the chat. Hit the like button, man. It's free. Salute.
Gotta say, I gotta give a shout out to NBA Youngboy for bonding out Carmelo Anthony, man. When I thought you wasn't watching, you was watching, bro. That was a big move. That was a big move. Even despite he got his own court shit going on, he still took the time out, took the funds out of his account to bond out Carmelo Anthony, NBA Youngboy. That was a really good look. That was a real good look. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Now, I'm going to say this. I don't know if that's 100% fact, but I'm going to just go with what I'm seeing right now, right? He said that NBA young boy paid the paper and got homie out and bailed him out. This is what I'm talking about. Let's just go with this as being facts. Let's just go with this being the thing. I haven't heard any denial. I haven't heard or seen anything saying, yo, we didn't have anything to do with that. I didn't see NBA YoungBoy reach out or have his publicist reach out and say, yo, that's false. So we're going to take that as factual. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I mean. You understand what I'm saying? The last thing y'all really want is for us to really unify, and not just unify, but now we got rich young niggas. We got rich YNs. We got wealthy black men. Imagine that. Anytime there is a mass shooting with the Caucasian male, the GoFundMe always reaches $1 million, at the least a half a million. Where you have anonymous Caucasian people donating to that GoFundMe. The young white boy that shot up that church in South Carolina and deleted all those elderly black people, he had about $1 million in his GoFundMe. The white boy that made his way out there to Buffalo, New York, and went to that shopping mall or that grocery store and deleted all those black people that was just buying groceries, he had over $1 million to $2 million in his GoFundMe. My point is, white people support their shooters. Right, wrong, or indifferent. White people anonymously donate. So what's the problem when we do the same thing? Why is it a problem when we donate, right or wrong, good or bad? Now, he raised up a nice amount of money, but the GoFundMe, they took that away from Carmelo Anthony. You don't see them taking that from Zimmerberg. You didn't see them, Zimmerman. You didn't see none of these other guys' GoFundMe get it deleted, but Carmelo's did. And then guess what? We got Young Revolution. I'm gonna say this because this is what I believe to be true, and this is what I see when I look at Young Boy. I look at NBA Young Boy as a young man that was desperate to get out of poverty like we all are. He got used by the higher-ups and the elites. They did everything to destroy NBA Young Boy before he woke up. They had to do it in fingernail polish, had him high off of perks. They really took NBA Young Boy to the edge of the mountain, hoping that he never wakes up, realizes how powerful he is, realizes his influence on young black men, and then turns into a revolutionary. And I always speak forwardly. I always get the downloads how they download. And what I'm here to say is, I believe that NBA YoungBoy is on the path to become a powerful, dangerous YN. Everything that the higher-ups and the elites hoped he would not become, I believe he is becoming that. I believe he is becoming that. All the destruction. I believe that his son with Floyd Mayweather and his daughter, I believe all these pieces are being put in place for NBA YoungBoy to become so powerful. I'm telling you. Yeah, let that man fight that case from the house. Let that man make bail. Instead of spending that $200,000 with Johnny Dang and them Asian people and them Japanese and all that, take that $200,000 and get that man out of jail. Yeah, fight that case from the house. From the comfort of your own home. Again. I'm telling you. So what? Because he's not a convicted felon yet. He has not been convicted of any crimes yet. Yo, Wallow, yo. Nah, you keep that inside yeah, he did right. Why Wallow and Gilly ain't get that man out of jail? Why none of these other celebrities didn't put that money up? The same money they would have spent with Johnny Dang and all that. The same 200,000 Wallow would have spent with Lamborghini and Porsche and all that. Why he ain't help get that man out of jail and all that? Why he ain't pull up on Carmelo Anthony and tell him, hold your head, youngster? I don't agree what you did, but hold your head. You still, why Wallow ain't do that? See, that's what I call him, Wallow the clown. Yo, I ain't spending mama. Yeah, shut your mouth, B. Watch your mouth. I don't care about no Porsches. I don't care about no Lamborghini. I don't care about the money that you was kissing them bottles to get that 100 million. I don't care about that. Why you ain't really doing the work? Because y'all dudes is puppets. Salute the NBA YoungBoy. If this is facts, salute to him. Salute to him. And I'm going to put it into the universe. NBA YoungBoy, you are powerful. You are a juggernaut. You are a leader within the community. You are a leader amongst young niggas, YNs. You are a leader, bro. And I'm going to tell you something, NBA YoungBoy. You might be more powerful than Tupac. You might be more powerful than Tupac. You probably are more powerful amongst the young boys than Nipsey Hussle. And I'm going to put it into the universe that you find your path, you find your purpose, NBA YoungBoy, and you stand on that. And you, listen, man, you done made the money. They can't take it from you. You either going to go that way or you going to go this way. You either going to do that or you going to do this. NBA YoungBoy, I'm saying it. You heard it here first. A young revolutionary in the making. Yeah, 200,000, nigga. We making bail. Go home, youngster. Sleep that shit off. You know all the black men that lose their life and nobody ain't got nothing to say about it? You know how many young black men lost their life listening to NBA YoungBoy and nobody ain't care about it? The least you could do is pay that 200K and get that youngster out and bail him out of jail. Now, I'm going to move forward, but I got to say this. You know how many black people, you know how many old ladies Wallow robbed before he went to jail? You know how many poor black people Wallow robbed before he went to jail? You know how many purses he stole? Wallow used to steal purses. Wallow used to rob aunties and grandmamas and shit. Wallow used to rob the community. Yeah, the last thing you want to do, is run that bullshit $1 million worth of game past grown man business TV. Buying Lamborghinis and talking, spend my money. Yeah, after you robbed all those old ladies and shit out there in Philadelphia. After you was robbing them poor ass black men that was getting off of work, you was robbing their pockets. After you was destroying the community, now these people that came out, you done sucked on the bottle and all that, and now you think you could talk to us? Nah, man, close your mouth. Salute the NBA YoungBoy. I'm telling you, let that young man stand on business. Let that young man, let NBA YoungBoy actually say something to these young niggas, and they gonna do what he say. Yo, NBA YoungBoy could say, we having a million YN march, a million young nigga march out there in DC, and a million YNs will show up to DC, nigga. NBA YoungBoy could say, I need 1 million YNs in DC in 2 months. All over America, all the YNs of America. If you are listening to NBA YoungBoy, meet me in DC. It'll be 4 million young niggas in DC with Pooh Shiesty masks on. The higher ups and the elites know that. The question is, do you know that? The higher ups and the elites know exactly who NBA YoungBoy is. The question is, do you know who he is? Or is y'all gonna kill him like y'all did Nipsey Hussle? Is y'all gonna smoke him? Is y'all gonna ride him? Is y'all gonna delete NBA YoungBoy like y'all did Nipsey Hussle? I'm telling you, Nipsey Hussle ain't got nothing on NBA Youngboy. I'm telling you, Tupac Shakur. I'm telling you, I believe that NBA Youngboy is bigger than both of them. I believe that NBA Youngboy could have 100 million young niggas right there in D. 5 million young niggas in DC all at one time. And to do exactly what he say when he say to do it. I digress. Salute the NBA Youngboy. If that's facts, I'm rocking with you on that, homie. Walking your purpose, homie. Your purpose, I can see it clearly. I hope you can see it. Your purpose is a powerful purpose. NBA Youngboy, your purpose is a powerful purpose. And I hope that you find it and you walk in it. Big salute to the chat. Now, I want to play something, man. Because a lot of people are in the DM. A lot of people are saying, yo, GMB TV, he took it too far. Why would you condone that? Why are you supporting that? And I'm a play something for you. I'm going to play a receipt for you because, this has been going on for too long. This has been happening, especially to black men, especially to us. It's been happening for too long, B. For too long. Now, I want to play something. There was a young man that was approached for not tipping. Tipping is not going to be the angle, but that's what's happening in this video. And I want y'all to watch this. Big salute to the chat, man. Run them likes up.
What do you want, bro? What do you want? I paid for my food. I paid for my food. What are you talking? Why are you following me down the fucking street? Nigga, you need to get the fuck back. You need to get back. Why are you following me? Why are you following me? Why are you following me? What are you gonna do? Call 911. Call 911. If you need to settle something, you know who to call? I know that. I'm okay. Go tell him. You go tell him. You go tell him. You go tell him. I paid for my food. I handed you $20. You can't charge me more than what the menu say. So what are you talking about? Bro, I'm not legally required to give you a fucking tip. Get the fuck back. Get back. Get back. Get back. Get back. Get back, bro. I'm telling you to get back. I'm not trying to fuck with you, bro. Bro, I'm not trying to fuck with you. You piece of shit. Bro, I'm not trying to goddamn fucking yelling at me. I'm not trying to fuck with you, bro. You shut your goddamn fucking mouth, man. Why are you following me down the street? You piece of shit, little piece of shit, man. I paid for my food. I'll smack the shit out of you, punk ass, man. I paid for my food, bro. Piece of shit. I paid for my food. How the fuck you didn't think they make money? I paid for my food. How am I fucking staff supposed to make fucking money, huh? So raise your price, huh? Bro, we can solve this chill, bro. We can solve this chill, bro. We can solve this chill, bro. I paid for my food. We can solve this chill. Come here. We can solve this chill. Talk to them. Why are you harassing me? Why are you harassing me? Fucking raise your goddamn voice at me. Why are you following me down the street? Slap the shit out of you, man. Why are you following me down the street, bro? Why are you following me down the street? Why are you following me down the street?
Now, the downloads are going to download it. You came to the right place. Now, this young man, right, went to a restaurant, Chinese restaurant, Vietnamese, whatever, Asian, right? And I guess the owner chased it. We all saw the receipt right here. And I played that because I want you to understand that, that's what's taking place, B. And if that black man would have stabbed his ass, right? If that black man would have stabbed him, would have downed him, would have then y'all would have been, oh, he didn't take it. He shouldn't. No. The man said, back up off me. The man said, back up. The man said, stop following me. The man said, get away from me. The man said X, Y, and Z. And then as soon as he would have pulled out a pocket knife and went in your goddamn chest with it, now all of a sudden it's a problem and all that. Now all of a sudden, oh, you shouldn't have done. Hey, mind your business and keep your hands to yourself. You see what I'm saying? So this Asian man is threatening, homie. I'ma smack you, I'ma attack you, I'ma do something to you, I'ma cause bodily harm to you. And then when this black man with a win in his mouth, Now all of a sudden it's a problem and he shouldn't have did that. No, homie. That's that as soon as I saw this clip, the downloads downloaded. See? Same thing them white boys was doing to Carmelo Anthony. Running up on him and all that. Took his phone from him. Physically assaulted him. Carmelo say, yo, leave me alone. Get off me. Put your hands on me and see what happened. And then when you lose your life, now everybody announcer, now we having a problem and we need to have a conversation and all that. And everybody want to make it this and make it that. The same way them white boys ran up on Carmelo Anthony is the same way this Asian guy thinks he has the right to walk up on a black man because he ain't get a tip. Now, when he would have took that knife and put the tip of it in your throat right there, now we got a problem and all that. Listen to this. Listen. I want y'all to listen to this. Listen to this shit. Listen.
Come on. You go tell them. I paid for my food. I handed you $20.
Look.
You can't charge me more than what the menu say. So what are you talking about? Bro, I'm not legally required to give you a fucking tip. Get the fuck back. Get back.
You heard how he said get back, homie? That means he felt like his life was in danger. He said, yo, get back. The way he screamed that should let you know, get away from me. I feel like my life is in danger. I'm telling you to get back. And see, my message is we don't have to deal with that. We never had to deal with it. But because we are not savages in nature like most of y'all are, right? We let that shit ride. Get back. We ain't did nothing yet. We still back. Get away from me, please. When really, he's supposed to already win in his mouth already. That black man's supposed to win in his mouth already. You threatening my life. I don't know what you got in your pockets. I don't know what you got under your shirt. I don't know what your intentions are. He's supposed to win in his mouth already. But because we don't have that savage nature for y'all, we have been brainwashed to have that savage nature for another black man. But when it's a white man, or if it's an Asian man, or anything other than black, we tend to let shit ride. We tend to be scared. We tend to not want no action. But if that was another black man, he would have already went in his mouth already. Let that would have been another black man doing that. They would have already been fighting. Somebody ass would have been shot already. You got to understand something, homie. This is the shit that we've been dealing with for a long time. This right, look.
Get back. Get back. Get back. Get back, bro. I'm telling you to get back.
Yelling
I'm
at
not trying to
me!
fuck with you, bro. Bro, I'm not trying to fuck with you.
You piece of shit.
Bro, I'm
Fucking
not trying to fuck
goddamn
with you.
fucking yelling at
I'm
me!
not trying to fuck with you,
You
bro.
shut your goddamn
I'm not trying
fucking
to fuck
mouth,
with
man!
you. Why are you following me down the street?
You piece of shit, little piece
Bro,
of shit, man.
I paid
I'll
for my
smack
food.
the shit out of
Bro,
you,
I paid for
punk
my
ass,
food.
man.
I paid for my food, bro.
Piece of shit.
I paid for my food.
How the fuck you didn't think
Bro,
they make money?
I paid
you
for my
piece of shit,
food.
huh?
I
How
paid
am I
for my
fucking
food.
staff supposed to make
Bro,
fucking
I
money,
paid for-
huh?
So raise your...
If that was a black man, they would have been rolling on the floor already. But he don't want no smoke with the Vietnamese. He don't want no smoke with that man right there. So I say all that to say this. We don't got to deal with that type of shit, bro. As a man, as an American, we don't got to deal with that. I would suggest y'all start reevaluating how y'all approach black men from here on out. Because this man right here, I'm sure has a family. He has children. He probably has a wife. And as soon as somebody would have took his life, then we would have been talking. But he don't care about his family. He not thinking about his wife, putting his life in danger. He not thinking about his children. He ain't thinking about if something could happen to him. He more concerned about his tip and his staff getting money. That white boy wasn't thinking about his brother. He wasn't thinking about his mother. He wasn't thinking about his father. He was trying to make Carmelo Anthony get... We don't got to deal with that. It's no longer that we got to put up with that. Nasty work, B. Nasty work. Now, I'm going to play one more receipt. And, this right here was, it really resonated with me. You understand what I'm saying? Because you got to know something, man. There's no racism in my speech. There's no racism in my approach. I'm just being very blunt. I'm giving you the dope straight off the brick into the bottles. I'm just telling you what it is. You understand what I'm saying? I can't make it something it's not. This is what we deal with. Most black men, we deal with this type of, you got all type of different races of men feeling like they could do, and not just the men, but even they teach their children. They teach their children that you can tell a black kid what to do and he should listen to you because you're a white, because you're Becky, you're Karen. You can tell Carmelo Anthony where to stand in the rain because that dog fur is it don't work like that. Right? But I listened to Carmelo's, not Carmelo Anthony, but I listened to the victim, Metcalf. I listened to his father recently, and it is like mixed emotions when it came to his dad, because I feel so sorry for his father. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, you got, if you got a son or if you got children, period. But if you got a son, then, you can't imagine what he's going through, right? So I felt sorry for his father. But then, I felt a different emotion where it was like, your sons are moving on what you taught them, right? So, your kids will pay for the sins of their fathers. The children pay for the sins of the parents, right? But what I understand is the victim's father, he knows what his son was. He knows his son was a bully. He know that, his son didn't have to lose his life, but, right? And he doesn't want to be involved with the white supremacists that are trying to use this situation to push for a race war. And that's why I'm gonna land this plane with that, right? I'm gonna play a receipt. See if we can find it. And then I'm going to elaborate on the bigger picture, because it's always, it get deep, it get wicked, and it's always deeper than rap when you come to Grown Man Business TV. And keeping your hands to yourself, minding the business that pays you. You don't have any authority over black people. What happens when we stop killing each other and we start aiming that energy at y'all? All these things are important, but the higher ups and the elites don't care about none of that. There is always a bigger picture. It is always deeper than rap. And one thing for sure, two things for certain, after I give you a passionate, because it's passion in this, passionate word about those things, I cannot end the live stream, or I cannot go any further without showing you the bigger picture. The bigger picture. At that level with the higher ups and the elites, the things that we argue about, the gripes that we have, the plights as a people that we have are quiet. Those things those are a grain of salt. It's a grain of salt. It is something that they don't even think about. They leave that for us to go to war with each other over. They leave that for us to argue about. And they look at the bigger picture. So I want to play something for y'all. And I want to send positive energy to Metcalf's father, his dad, that white man, dog fur and all. You understand? Because I understand that he understands the level that I'm talking about what he did, his wrong in this, his right in this. And instead of not taking accountability, what he is doing is taking full accountability by disassociating with white supremacists and the people, you know, white people that are trying to use this to make it a race war. He don't want no parts of that. So that let me know that he's understanding, like, I gotta make a change. Like, I should have made a change earlier before I lost my son, but you know what? My son, I lost him, and I gotta make a change now because it's gonna turn all the way up. So big salute to that man, and then we gonna go a little bit deeper. We gonna land this plane with the higher ups and the elites in the bigger picture. Big salute. Listen up.
Why can't you stand that and say with that? Maybe you can. Would you be willing to stand by me in a press conference or in an individual interview and talk about this issue that is larger than Austin at this point? God rest the beautiful young man's soul that would have been one of our strongest voices if he was still alive today. Yes, I am, sir.
Okay, my turn to speak. You are part of the fucking problem, my friend. You're trying to create more race divide than bridging the gap. I do not condone anything you do. You do not have any fucking...
That's called white guilt.
No, let it talk.
My son, let me finish. I give you your time. You take my son's face off your website. I am not associated with you.
You're creating more Austin Metcalfs with your weakness, sir. You are creating more Austin Metcalfs with your weakness.
Here, you are being weak. I gotta be honest with you about that, sir.
You're being weak. Condemn your son's killer and the culture that caused it.
Hey, Jeff.
That's the problem. You're being weak. You are creating more Austin Metcalfs.
I am not associated with you. Face off your website.
White guilt.
No, let it talk.
My son, let me finish. I give you your time. You take my son's face off your website. I am not associated with you.
You're creating more Austin Metcalfs with your weakness, sir. You are creating more Austin Metcalfs with your weakness.
Here, you are being weak. I gotta be honest with you about that, sir.
You're being weak. Condemn your son's killer and the culture that caused it.
Hey, Jeff.
That's the problem.
Now, it was kind of low, but you know, this guy is leading some type of website for white rage. It's a lot of people that's out. It's a lot of people that are upset, white people that are really upset about this situation. And you got this particular dude right here that has a website. He has a picture of the victim on the website, and he is basically saying that Metcalf's father is weak. He needs to condemn the killer and the culture that created it. White supremacy. And Metcalf's father is saying, bro, I don't want you. You know, you are the fucking problem. You are causing more racial divide. I'm not associated with you. I ain't got shit to do with that. Take my son off your website. So you got to know, right? Like, if he was like them, he would have a whole army of white people behind him, the father. And if they wanted to go to war, which they really want to go to war, all the father would have to do is crash out. He don't want that. Why don't he want that? Well, you know, after the hurt, after the pain, after you cry, right? You got to know that the father was able to look in the mirror and say, God damn, yo, I fucked up with that. I really fucked up with that. The son only did what he was taught to do. He was taught to think that he is superior. He was taught to think that he has some type of control or authority over black people. So that's why he felt so adamant about trying to make Carmelo Anthony move. When, nigga, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you don't even own the fence. You don't own the tent. You are a student. If you want him to move and it's that, you know, dire need for him to move, then go get a security guard. Go get the principal. Go get an adult to talk to. But you can't. So that is the teaching of the father. With that being realized, the father's saying, man, I don't want no more racial divide. I don't want this shit to be that. But you got all these opportunists, just like Black Lives Matter, George Soros, the higher ups in the elites, when they see an opportunity to exploit a racial division, they exploit the racial divide. When they see an opportunity to exploit, if it's a black man dying or if it's a white man dying, when the higher ups see an opportunity to make black and white fight, to make black and white pay attention to everything except what they doing at the heights, what they doing at the top, what they doing, they exploit it, they fund it. George Soros, you see that with George Floyd? It's going to be okay. Let's put some money into that. Let's start paying people to keep this shit going so they don't see what we doing over here. So we don't pay attention. They're not paying attention to what we doing over here with these billions and these trillions. They paying attention to the cops and they paying attention to what happened to okay, you had a black kid stab a white kid. Okay, let's set up a website. Let's put the pictures on that. Let's stir up some racial conflict. Let's see if we can get a war going. Let's see if we can really get a war going. But I told y'all a long time ago, I said this a long time ago. The higher ups and the elites are disconnected from the culture. The higher ups and the elites don't understand just how connected black and white people actually are. I know that shit sound crazy. You know what I'm saying? When I'm talking about my people, it's no slight against the dog fur. It just is what it is. When I call it dog fur, I'm not disrespecting you. I'm telling you the shit smell like a dog when it get wet. It's not hair, it's fur. Cool. But the higher ups and the elites think that somehow we got ain't no conflict, homie. It ain't gonna be no white and black war. Like they don't understand that we all work together. Our kids go to school together. We live in the same communities together. There is not going to be a black and a white war. That shit was 1965. We all the way in 2025. That's some shit that ain't going to happen. But anytime they see an inkling of it, they fund it and they exploit it and they monetize and capitalize off it. So I got, I see y'all in the chat and the homie, but I sent my energy to his pops just because I couldn't, it's not that I couldn't imagine. I would never want to imagine how he must be feeling. But I got to salute the fact that he did not bend breaking fold for the higher ups and the elites because look, I'm going to play it for you. Look, this dude is soon as this shit happened, George Soros, a few other people, a few other billionaires funded the war. Look, listen.
With that, maybe you can. Would you be willing to stand by me in a press conference or in an individual interview and talk about this issue that is larger than Austin at this point? God rest the beautiful young man's soul that would have been one of our strongest voices if he was still alive today. This country is wrong. Why can't you stand that and say with that? Maybe you can. Would you be willing to stand by me in a press conference or in an individual interview and talk about this issue that is larger than Austin at this point? God rest the beautiful young man's soul that would have been one of our strongest voices if he was still alive today.
That's all manipulation. And I am Aboriginal, salute my G. That's why I love, you got to love the channel, the platform. I don't disagree with what you're saying. I actually agree with that. Even with what I'm saying, there is a huge divide. There is a huge divide between black people and white people. Being as though they forced us to integrate with each other, that's what's causing the friction. They forced us. They burned down all our towns, all our cities, all our property, all everything we was building. They burned it down and they forced us to integrate with the dog fur. But what I'm saying is Because they did that, there is a certain there is a certain line that's drawn. There is a certain respect that is there on both sides. Let me give you an example, right? When those young boys shoot up that church, them white boys shot that church up, killed them people. White people raised $2 million for that young man, but they did it anonymously. See, it's not a thing where they just going to do it out in the open and tell black people, yeah, they do it behind closed doors so that we can't see it, but they do it. When they thought Donald Trump was going to go against black people, they all voted for Donald Trump. Oh, no, I'm going to vote for Kamala. Don't worry, I'm going to vote for Kamala. And then they go into the tolls and they secretly vote for. So my point is, like, the fact that we can have this conversation and then we all get up tomorrow and go to work and it's white people at our job. It's a white man cutting the check. Like, it has to be a certain level of, it has to be a line that's drawn in the sand. And we all respect that line, respectfully. You know what I'm saying? We go to the stores, white people there. Is somebody serving you that's a white person? My daughter, our kids hanging, like, they forced us to integrate. So it's a divide, but it's a line. It's a line of respect that is there. So his dad, you lose your son, you lose a child, bro, you're going to come out swinging. You're going to come out mad, right? But it don't take long to look in the mirror, and especially as a man, and say, damn, what could I have done better? Like, Metcalf, my son, he shouldn't have never even walked over there to that. What made him do that? I made him do that. I taught him to be like that. I gave him that inkling of white supremacy. I gave him that inkling to think that he was superior. And it plays into what these dudes is doing. And it's like, I shouldn't have did that. And now he's trying to disassociate. He's trying to disassociate from the very ideology. This right here is this is the ideology.
Larger than Austin, and say with that, maybe you can. Would you be willing to stand by me in a press conference or in an individual interview and talk about this issue that is larger than Austin at this point? God rest the beautiful young man's soul that would have been one of our strongest voices if he was still alive today.
God bless the beautiful man that would have been one of our strongest voices. One of your strongest. And you got to know something, right? This is the beautiful thing about independent content creators, about these platforms, right? Is that we can actually call this shit out now. This guy has been paid by some billionaire, probably George Soros, allegedly, somebody like that. This guy has a balance. He has a budget of a couple of $1 million to set the website up. Get a tour bus. He got a tour bus back there. He's traveling all over Texas. He's stirring up racism and he's stirring up controversy. And he's yeah. This guy is a puppet, the same way Black Lives Matter was a puppet, but we didn't know what the fuck was going on until it got exposed. Now we ain't got to let these plays be ran over again. This guy has been paid, and his daddy know it. His daddy say, man, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Take my son off your website, all of that. With all that being said, Carmelo Anthony is going to walk away with manslaughter. One thing for sure, two things for certain that I see a lot of white people do is they cut off their nose to spite their face. They cut off their nose to spite their face. So they'll do something trying to stop black people or trying to be racist and at the same time exposing the hate, exposing the violence, exposing themselves. And all these white people rallying and protesting and all the death threats and all these things that are happening is only going to show the courts that these people are living in fear. These people are being bullied from high school all the way to the adults, to the father. They're all under attack. This young man was protecting himself. This young man was scared for his life. Now, big salute to the chat. Y'all already know how we give it up over here, man. You know, I wanna kind of double back real quick, but just because the downloads are still coming in, and maybe I should do a whole live stream on that. We'll see. But the majority of celebrities are puppets. But again, cut off your nose to spite your face, right? Regardless if it's a 99.9% puppets when it comes to celebrities, you got to know that 1%, that 1% is a possible revolutionary. A possible revolutionary. And the downloads are telling me that NBA YoungBoy, if I'm telling you, if somebody would, if he walks down the path of righteousness, let me just say that. If he walks down a path of righteousness, he's going to become a revolutionary. He's going to become more dangerous than Tupac Shakur could ever be. NBA YoungBoy, the downloads, they piling in. They piling in. NBA YoungBoy is the key to unlock the YNs. NBA YoungBoy, yeah, this shit is crazy. I can't stop the downloads once they start downloading. I can't do anything but give it to you. NBA YoungBoy is the key that if he's put into the lock and he's turned the right way, he will unlock these YNs. And they'll start stabbing, shooting, riding, mobbing. Those YNs ever get unlocked, homie, this shit right here be the least of your problems. You know what I mean? Carmelo Anthony will be the least of your problems. Hey, who you say one of the keys, right? And it's out. Who's the, give me another key. Give me another YN or another revolutionary in disguise. I ain't gonna lie. All I see is YoungBoy. All I see is YoungBoy. I'm talking NBA YoungBoy when it come to like the numbers. There is no big, nah, Kevin Gates is a clown, man. Kevin Gates is a clown, man. Kevin Gates is a clown. Lil Durk, at one point, he had a key. He was a key. But Lil Durk lost that key when King Von got smoked. Nobody really, Lil Durk had a chance to unify Chicago and become a key. He's no longer a key. He don't have that appeal no more. Pooh Shiesty. Let's say Pooh Shiesty was to get out of jail and tell all the YNs with the Shiesty mask on, it's time to ride. If Pooh Shiesty got out of jail and told all the young niggas, it's time to ride. We ain't riding no more on each other. We riding on the real ops. Pooh Shiesty is probably could be a key. I doubt he's going to do that, but that would be the young niggas, the YNs, they follow Pooh Shiesty. NBA YoungBoy is at the top of the mountain when it come to that. That's why I don't see nobody else really coming into the downloads. It is NBA YoungBoy, and that is it. There is no other artist. There is no other young boy that is as powerful, as influence as NBA YoungBoy. Yeah. Yeah. Salute the NBA YoungBoy for that 200K. You know what I mean? I just don't see nobody bigger. I don't see nobody bigger. NBA YoungBoy, nah, Kodak Black, man. Kodak is a K2 head. You know, we done seen too many videos of Kodak Black smoking dope. We done seen too many videos of Kodak Black in the middle of the street, high on crack and all that. And you know what I'm saying? Like the young boys listen to NBA, they listen to Kodak Black, but they don't react to Kodak Black, if that makes sense. They don't do what he say. They listen to his music, but they don't react. NBA YoungBoy, go on his social media and say, May 25th, I'ma be in Washington, D.C. On May 25th, I want 2 million young niggas to be in Washington, D.C. And I guarantee you, it'll be over 2 million YNs in Washington, D.C. for NBA YoungBoy, not for Kodak, though. Yeah, not for Kodak. Is what it is. Big salute to the chat. Honeycomb gonna be. Yeah, Honeycomb had a. Honeycomb was right there. He could have been one. I liked Honeycomb Brazy because of the influence that he was having over the young niggas. I never listened to one of his songs. I never heard none of his music, but I know that he was a threat to the establishment. That's why his ass in jail. Honeycomb Brazy was a threat to the establishment. That's why he got locked back up. Yeah, it's no bigger YN than NBA YoungBoy. And with Floyd Mayweather, his son, in the right kind of like count, if that nigga had some real revolution, if he had some real ones around him, I would have that nigga. I'm talking about, I would show NBA YoungBoy the difference of being a puppet and then breaking away from the establishment and being a real revolutionary. And I would show that nigga what would happen, and he'd do it. He'd do it because he don't like the fact that his music caused so much destruction amongst young people. He says it all the time. He don't like the fact that his music, misled so many young niggas. So he's at the point where he don't like that. He want to change it. And all he need is a motherfucker like me. Boy, what? Boy, I'll be in that nigga. I'll be doing. Yo, hey, yo. Tell niggas. What? I'll be whispering that nigga ear like this, nigga. Yo, tell nigga. Yeah. Yo, we gonna do a million YN march in DC. You remember Martin Luther King? Yeah, I remember Martin Luther King. You remember the Million Man March? Oh, you wasn't even born yet. Yo, Google the Million Man March and watch that shit. Yeah, they had over 1 million niggas. Or everybody was in DC. 1 million man march. Yeah. Why? It's your turn, nigga. Yo, young boy, it's your turn. They had the march on Washington with Martin Luther King. They had the Million Man March. It's your turn. The Million YN March on Washington. Yo, the Million YN March on Washington. I'll plant the seed in that nigga head. He'll go to sleep. I'll go to sleep. I'm going to talk to you tomorrow, all right? I'm going to holler at you. Bloop. That nigga goddamn, he'll be sitting there smoke. You know, he like to smoke cigarettes, right? NBA YoungBoy, he like to smoke cigarettes. And he'll be thinking about that shit. The Million YN March on Washington. And all of y'all need to bring Pooh Shiesty masks. Every one of y'all need to make sure the only thing you gotta have is your Pooh Shiesty. Everybody meet me in Washington. The Million YN March on Washington, hosted and brought to you by NBA YoungBoy. I have a whole podium set up with a microphone, like a stage and all that. Just like Martin Luther King. I had a dream. The way he did that shit, they have YoungBoy up there. Shit'll be legendary, nigga. Yo, we gonna stop the violence. We all gonna be one gang. We gonna be under one umbrella. Under one umbrella. Everybody put your shiesty mask on right now. It'd be 2 million YNs out there with Pooh Shiesty masks on. Imagine that. Nigga, motherfucker got white, motherfucker got goddamn Pooh Shiesty mask on. Yeah, what? White people be scared, motherfucker. Government be scared as a bitch, motherfucker. Shh. That shit got my wheels turning, baby. I'm sorry. My wheels is turning, baby. You feel what I'm saying? Shh. boy. Shit. Nah, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, sir. You know what I'm saying? And then what you do is you do that just to show the establishment how much control you got. Them motherfuckers will be scared as hell, a young boy. You understand what I'm saying? Like that nigga do some shit like that and did no violence and everybody just, you know what I'm saying? And then it's just like the Million Man March. And everybody go about their way after that. Them niggas will be scared to death of a young boy. He'll be the biggest artist. He'll be the biggest artist ever. He do that. Bigger than Michael Jackson. Bigger than Tupac. Elvis. Jay-Z. It ain't a motherfucker on the planet. Big salute. Big salute to the chat. Oh man, yo. Hey man, everybody get ready, man, to start this week, man. We definitely tapping back in tomorrow. Don't trip. You know, I might have to take that Wallow video down. I'm gonna check back into that when I get off of here with y'all. You know, they not feeling that Wallow joint. They kinda on me about that. So I'm gonna check my emails when I get off of here. But you know, let's start the week off, man. Let's just stay inquisitive. Let's stay motivated. Let's stay inspired. Let's stay dedicated, man. Let's stay, you know, consistent. You understand what I'm saying? And let's start this week off right. Let's get to it, man. Let's you know what I'm saying? Let's plant seeds, man. Let's you know what I'm saying, set goals, man, and let's go for them. And we gonna stay on top of this. You know what I mean? We gonna make it happen. You know, like, you know, yo, hey Charlie P, I saw that. You know, and it could be a million grown man business march too. That sounds appealing. You know what I'm saying? That sounds like something, because grown man business, you know, and then we just direct it. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta know, when you do these million man marches, man, it's so much money that they made. You know what I mean? Vendors, hotels, transportation, cars, rental car, like everybody made mad paper off that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's bigger than like just people meeting up. Because if a million YNs come to DC, they gotta stay somewhere. They gotta rent cars. They gotta be able to get tour roads. They gotta be able to eat. They gotta be able to party. Like, it's millions of dollars that get spent. So, you know, you do a million grown man business march type shit, and it's like, all right, everybody gonna come, but we gonna use all black vendors. We gonna use all black businesses. We only gonna spend this money with black businesses, or the majority of this money gonna get spent with a black business. If you buying a Pooh Shiesty mask, buy it from somebody that make a black person. Find somebody, you like, then we spend all those millions right with our own people. You know what I'm saying? And really upset the establishment. You know what I'm saying? Yo, the shit is real. Like, those marches was very lucrative. You understand it? What they, you know, they was telling us just to march, but it's very lucrative. Wherever you do it at, you know, it's a lot of money that travels, and it's a lot of revenue comes from that, you know. But you already know what time it is, man. It's your boy, Grown Man Business TV. You feel what I'm saying? You can tap in, you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest. And I suggest you tap in. Listen, I suggest you tap into this Grown Man Business. I suggest you tap into this Grown Man content at all times. You already know what it is. Straight off the brick into the bottles. Straight off the brick into the bottle. Straight raw, pure, uncut, no extras, no preservatives. We not sugarcoat nothing. We not dressing nothing up. We giving you this game straight, pure dope. Straight raw, straight pure dope, my G. Keep your hands to yourself and mind the business that pays you, and you will live a long, prosperous life. Long, prosperous life. But as soon as you get to thinking you got some type of authority over black people, or some type of authority over anybody, and you lose your life is lost. Game over. This ain't Call of Duty. This ain't goddamn GTA. You don't get an extra life. It's not Mario Brothers. You don't get an extra life with this shit. You understand? You get one shot at this. Don't waste it trying to tell somebody what to do and all that. Mind your goddamn business. Yeah, mind your business. Mind your business, because your ass run down on me. It is what it is. and it'll be what it's gonna be. So you already know what time it is, man. It's your boy Grown Man Business TV. You know, you can tap in, you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest. And I suggest you tap in, gang.